me out of there before. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's just come to a comfortable seated position. And if it helps to sit on a blanket, it just lifts us up a little bit. It creates a little bit more space between our hips and our belly and our torso, right? So we get a little bit more space there. So we're not compressing in the hip joints. So then we just start to take the crown of the head toward the sky. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Take the heads of the shoulders back and down. And close your eyes. Just start to notice your external landscape. Just start to notice what's going on around. Go around you. Without judgment. Maybe just noticing any noises, the temperature on your skin. You might want to keep a towel nearby as it is a little warm today if you don't have AC in your house. So we can worry about that in a little bit. Maybe notice that you're sweating at the brow like I am already. To explore internally. How do we feel internally? Notice anything your body's saying to you right now, like any tightness, just any particular areas that are giving you a little cause for concern, or just maybe you just feel a little uncomfortable. And without judgment, again, we just kind of checking in. And start to deepen our breath through the nose and out through the nose. Let's do that again. Big breath in and out. Now we're going to take a big breath in to the count of 4. And I'll do the counting. So take a big breath in. 2, 3, 4. Feel the chest rise. Now let's hold it here for 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently exhale. And as you exhale to the count of 4, we're going to draw the navel in and up. And then hold it. Hold your breath here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Breath in for 4, 3, 2. Hold at the top. Gently release, engaging the belly. 2, 1. Hold it. And let's do that again. One more cycle through. Inhale. Fill it up. Hold it. Gently exhale. Hold it here. And then just let your breath flow naturally. In and out. I'm the only one home right now, so there's no one to distract my dog, so she may be a part of the practice this morning, more so than usual. All right, okay, so let's just stay here and sit up nice and tall. Let's just take our chin into our chest. Take your shoulder blades toward the floor. Maybe place your fingers on the back of your head. If that feels good, sometimes it feels nice to just lengthen the neck, but don't force it. We don't want to injure ourselves. We're just kind of helping it along a little bit. Give it that nice stretch through the cervical spine. We want to take the shoulder blades toward the floor. And then we're going to release our hands if they're there. We're going to start to take our chin toward the sky. And then take your collarbones toward the floor. And again, just feeling this nice expansion through the neck. Relax your jaw. And try not to force anything here. Bring your chin parallel to the floor. And then look over your right shoulder. Keep the shoulder blades back and down. And just notice how this feels. If there's any tightness or soreness in your neck. And we're just opening up the neck in all directions. And then bring your chin back to center, and we're going to look over the left shoulder. To breathe. I don't remind you to breathe. It doesn't mean to stop. You want to always focus on your breath. And then bring your chin back to center. Now let's take our right to our right shoulder. We'll take our head toward the front of our mat until our left ear and left shoulder meet. And then we're going to do that in the opposite direction. So just half circles from one shoulder to the other. And just go at your own pace. So nice and slow. This should feel really nice. You know, this is something we can do anytime, right? To open up the neck. And then the next time your ear and shoulder meet, just stay there. We're going to go toward the back of our mat. So same thing, from one shoulder. I like to just do half circles here. I think we're more in control, especially back here. It's usually a little tighter. Back here, probably noisier. If you feel any really area that feels particularly tight, just let your head hang there for a breath. And then move on. Same thing, you find another one. Just do what feels good. This should feel really good, just kind of working out all that tension, all that tightness. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there and just gently bring your head up and sit up again nice and tall. Okay, so we're going to just go into the deeper stretch of the upper trapezius. So we're going to take our right ear back to our right shoulder. We're going to walk our right hand over to the right. And then we're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder. We're going to take the left arm out toward the left, and then we're just going to take it back, maybe down. Move it around until you get that nice stretch in your upper trapezius. If you feel like you're tipping over, you can put a block underneath your right hand. Again, this should feel nice. This is one of those big muscles. Really connects to the cervical spine. Starting to open the neck. One more deep breath here. Keep the chest lifted. And we're going to take our right hand onto our right ear and just gently bring the head up. Sit here for a breath and just observe. Notice how that feels on the left side and the right side. Compare the two. How does that feel? Really creating space. All right, now let's take our left ear to our left shoulder. We're going to walk the left hand out. We're going to keep the sit bones down. And then we're going to take the right arm out. Back, maybe down, maybe a combination of the two. Breathe here. Even here we keep the chest lifted. We don't want to collapse into the spine. We keep our chest up and lifted. One more breath. And then let's take our left hand onto our left ear and just gently, slowly come all the way up. We do that just so we don't come up too fast and undo everything we just did. So even here, we just want to feel the right over the left. You can close your eyes and see how that feels. Again, just starting to create all that space in the neck. And then let's get our strap. So you can just fold it in half, or you can keep it long. Doesn't really matter. Actually, you know what? Let's keep it long for right now because we're going to go into that rotation of the shoulders. But I do want to do something first. Let's take the strap. So our wrists are in front of our shoulders. And then we're going to reach up and then stay here for a few breaths. Then we're going to turn the palms out. So the thumbs are pointing toward the top of your mat. And the palms are facing out to the edges of your mat. We're just going to pull to the right and pull to the left. So right now our wrists are right over our shoulders, and just go where you can. Ideally, your biceps are in line with your ears. Mine don't really get there like this, but the strap helps, right? And then we're breathing, we're lifting our chest, drawing our navel in and up, keeping the belly engaged. Pull to the right, pull to the left. One more this. And then we can take our arms out wider. And you can always take your arms out wider if that was a little too uncomfortable, now that I said that. Let's keep the arms wide and just kind of pull and stretch here and do what feels good. All right, and then let's bring the hands back in front. So you can always use a towel or, hi, Andrea. All right, and who else just jumped on? Tasha and Catherine. Hi, hi. All right, so we're going to add the rotation. So let's bring the arms up and over and back up and over. And just go at your own pace. So again, a towel, like a belt from your bathrobe, anything can work here. And then we can add that figure 8. So take your right hand behind and your left hand in front. And then the left hand behind and right hand in front. There we go. All right. And then let's just go ahead and bring the strap back in front. We're going to put it over to the side. Okay, so we're still sitting up nice and tall. We're on our blankets. Let's take a big inhale, reach our arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to twist over to the right. So the right hand's going to come right behind us, kind of close to our tailbone. And the left hand is on your right knee. Then we're going to inhale, reach the head up. And as you exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, grow your spine nice and long. And then exhale, twist through we want to really twist through the pit of the belly, right, the pit of the abdomen. We're trying to take the left ribs over toward the right. And now you can maybe look over your right shoulder as well. And then we're turning, remember we did this a little earlier, we're twisting our cervical spine. And then carefully unwind and come back to center. We'll do that on the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up, grow your spine long here. And as we exhale, we're going to twist. So the left hand's going to come right behind us. And then we use that to really get the spine nice and long. Right hand is on the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. And then we exhale. We try to get the right ribs toward the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, grow your spine long. Exhale, twist, and maybe you can look over your left shoulder. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's Yogi, her neighbor's dog. And then come on back to center. He does it all the time. He howls. All right, so we're back to center. And then we're just going to do that one breath, one movement. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Just go with your breath. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Let's do it one more time on each side. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. And one more. And then twist. And we're going to do a few more twists on the floor. So inhale, reach up, and then bring your hands down. And let's come on to our hands and knees. So if you want to, you can pad your knees with a blanket. Or a towel or something if your knees are sensitive and your mat's not very thick. And we're just going to start with tabletop position. Neutral spine, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Spread your fingers wide. And then take your tailbone towards your knees. Push the floor away from put your belly. Really push the floor away. And then we're going to take the tailbone toward the sky. Broaden across the collarbones. Reach the crown of your head toward the sky. If that's okay with your neck. Otherwise, just look down at the floor. And then we'll flow through that at our own pace. Exhaling into cat pose. Inhale to cow. And flow through. Exhale. Come back to cow. And if you want, you can always wiggle your hips and get the hips into the action. Maybe work the shoulders, whatever feels good here on your spine. And then come on back to neutral spine. Okay, so let's take our left arm out, and so the biceps in line with our ear, and the thumb is toward the sky. Now we're going to root down through the right hand, engaging the tricep. Draw the navel in and up towards your spine. So you're feeling the abdominals firing here, right? It's already, the back muscles are working, the abdominals are working. And then we're going to take the right leg out behind us. Toes can stay toward the floor, or maybe you can lift your leg parallel to the floor. We want to really press through the right heel and then through the left fingertips. Take your right pinky toe toward the floor to get the internal rotation of the inner thigh. And then see what's going on with your right arm now. Mine wants to collapse. So engage that tricep and the bicep. And then your abs are really working hard here. Draw the navel in and up. You can always put your toes down. Don't be afraid to do that if you need a little support. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath here. Breathe, lengthen, and then take that hand and knee down. And then we'll do that on the other side. So catch your breath. Take a breath in and out. And we'll start with the arms. So the right arm's going to come out, bicep in line with your ear, thumb pointing up. So even here, without lifting that back leg, our knees are down, our abdominals are firing. You should feel this already. So really working the abs, working the back muscles. And then when you're ready, extend the left leg out. Toes can stay down on the floor, or lift your leg parallel to the floor. We want to make sure we're getting that pinky toe toward the floor to get that internal rotation of the inner thigh. And then press, reach through that back heel, and reach through your fingertips. Low belly draws in and up. And breathe. One more breath. And then take that hand and knee down. And you can take a cat-cow here. Just to stretch it all out. And then we're going to swing the legs around in front. You can have a blanket for your head. We're going to come onto our back. So you can have a blanket for your head, if that feels good or not. So once you get on your sit bones, we're just going to roll down onto our back. All right. So extend your legs out to the edge of your mat. And we can just start with our hands on our belly. walk the shoulder blades in toward each other. So we're puffing the chest up here. And then reach your arms overhead. Hook your thumbs together. Bring your feet together. So you're flexing your toes towards your shins and you're pressing your heels away. And then we're going to take a big inhale. And as we exhale, press your heels away as if you're pressing them into a wall. Some of you might even be at a wall. And then we're reaching the fingertips the opposite directions. Just getting a full body stretch here. Now inhale, just let everything go. Unhook your thumbs and hook them the other way. Exhale, press and reach. Low belly thrust in and up. Inhale, switch the thumbs. Exhale, press and reach. Inhale, switch your thumb grip. Exhale, press and reach with a full body stretch. Inhale, release and switch your thumbs. Exhale, press and reach. And then release. And bring your hands back down. You can just put them onto your belly right now. Let your feet kind of relax. Take a breath here. So let's bend the right knee and hug the right knee up. We're going to extend through the left leg just like we did. We want that leg nice and long. We want to get the internal rotation. We're pressing that left foot into the wall. Imaginary wall is either imaginary or not imaginary. I know some of you do use the wall. We're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and take the knee over to the left. Extend your right arm out to the right. Try to keep that right shoulder down. Inhale, lengthen through your left leg. So really press that leg away. And it's okay, the toes are going to splay over to the left a little bit. And then as you exhale, take your knee over to the right. And you can press your right fingertips into the floor to get a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen through the left leg. Exhale, deep twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then bring the knee up. And carefully just let that foot float to the floor. We're going to take the left knee up this time. Right hand's going to come on the left knee. Left arm is going to extend out. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to take the knee over to the right. Inhale, extend through your right heel. Lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and twist. Inhale, one more time. Really press that right foot away. Draw your navel in and up. Try to keep that left shoulder down and twist. And then bring your knee up. And release that foot to the floor. And we'll go with our breath, one movement this time. So let's inhale the right knee up and exhale and twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale and release. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. And then release the foot to the floor. And just stay here for a breath. Coming back to the breath. Just letting that all kind of process. All right, so now we're going to bring our toes back up straight, flexing our toes towards our shin, both feet. We're going to hug the right knee back up. Clasp around your right knee, press that left foot away. Inhale here, and this time as we exhale, we're going to take our forehead toward our knee. Unless that is really painful on your neck and that doesn't work for you, you can keep your head down and just hug the knee in. Otherwise, we're here. Pressing that left foot away, same action. We want to get that internal rotation of the inner thigh. We're pressing through the heel, taking our spine into a forward bend. And then as we inhale, we release the foot, let it float to the floor. We're going to do that other side. Exhale, left knee up, clasp around your shin. Press that right leg away, nice and long, at the internal rotation of your right thigh. Then we'll take our forehead toward our knee. Push the right leg away. Tuck your chin into your chest, really hug this in. Again, if this does not feel good in your neck, lower your shoulders back down. And then we're going to release. And we're going to go with our breath, just like we did. One breath, one movement. So we're going to exhale, bring everything up, forehead and knee, draw together. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee comes up, forehead toward the knees. Inhale, release. Exhale, right knee up. Inhale, release. And exhale, left knee up. And inhale and release. And just stay here for a breath. Now we're going to take both knees up. Hug them in. And take your forehead to your knees. Squeeze everything in here. And again, if it's okay, if it's not okay, with your neck, you just stay down here and hug the knees in. Otherwise, we're here. Hugging the knees in, forehead drawing toward the knees. And then as we inhale, we're going to release the feet with control, lower the shoulders down, and place the feet down. So you're going to feel a little bit more activity in the abdominals this time. We're going to go with our breath. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, release the feet with control and let them float down. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, draw the navel in and up, and then float the feet toward the floor. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, there's a lot of core involved in this one. Let the feet float down. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, release. Let those feet almost even hover for a quick second. And then we place the heels down. Last time, hug it in. And then release and let your feet place down and just stay right here for a breath. All right, let's get our strap. And most of you, there's a couple, let's just slow, I think. Everyone else, so we've been using the loop in our strap. So if you have a buckle on your strap, make a loop here. If you don't have a buckle, that's fine. You can just I'll demonstrate both ways. So we're going to start with the right leg. So let's extend the left leg nice and long. Toes are pointing straight up. So we don't want the foot splaying out to the left. We want the toes pointed straight up and then drawing in toward our shin. Then we're going to bend the knee and take the strap around the right heel. And we're going to take that leg up. So this is option 1. If you don't have a buckle on your strap, you can just hold on to your strap like this. Or you can take the loop. I know we've been doing this for a while, and I think a lot of you like it. So if you've got the loop, we've got the loop here. And then we just take the loop into our right hand. So we want this leg straight. So that, if I start drawing this up too far toward my nose, my knee bends here. We want to get in the hamstring. So I'm going to take my leg a little bit out further to make sure I'm getting in the hamstrings. That's the work. And then we're going to draw. If you've got both ends of your strap, we're locking both shoulders down. Or if you've got your loop, we're locking the right shoulder down. And we're flexing here too. We're flexing the toes toward our shin. So we're pressing that right leg away, and we're getting the internal rotation. So the inner thigh of the left leg is rotating toward the floor. To the right, not the left. We're going to get that internal rotation. And then we're just locking down that right shoulder, pressing the heel into the strap and pressing the strap into the heel. And then we take the right thigh bone away from our chin to create traction in the low spine. And just breathe here. So something, and sometimes I remember to say this, but if I don't remember, you can always do this in any of these poses that we're doing, and this is the hip series now we're moving into. You can point, if you do deal with sciatica, you can point your toes toward the ceiling, flex your toes towards your shin, and you point and flex and point and flex. And that's just something sometimes you, but feel free to do it anytime. It's called flossing the nerve. It's mobilizing. It's just something you can do now, or you can do it when we're not together as well. So now we're going to take the strap into our left hand, whether it's both ends of the strap or your loop. But we're going to keep the right heel over our right hip. Then we're going to take our right thumb and dig it right into that right hip crease. We're going to push the right way. Draw that right hip away from your chin. Extend through the left leg and draw your navel in and up towards your chin. And even here, if you want to, you can point and flex and point and flex, or just flex your toes towards your shin. And breathe. We're pressing that right thigh bone away, and we're drawing the navel in and up toward the chin. So trying to create a little bit more traction, low back. And then we're going to stay right where you are. Keep your right hand where it is. Keep your left hand in your strap. We're going to take that right heel over in line with our left shoulder. We're still pushing that right thigh bone away. Now we're going into the abductors, the outer edge of the right thigh. And even the adductors, the inner thighs working as well. Try not to let the left toes splay out. They want to, mine just did, so I had to correct it. So we're going to bring the left toes up. So we're still getting that internal rotation. And we're pushing that right thigh bone away, drawing the navel in and up toward our spine. One more breath here. And then you can stay right here. This is enough for you. If you want to take this a little bit farther, there's a lot more intensity in this pose, in this variation. You can take your leg over to the left and just go where you can go. Now the left toes can splay out, that's fine. This is going to go into, you're going to start getting into the glutes, really getting into your IT band, probably a lot more sensation here. You can always put something underneath your, maybe a block. Depends on how close your foot gets to the floor. Maybe even slightly bend your knee if it's too intense. And one more breath here. Inhale. Now as you exhale, engage the low belly and bring your leg all the way up. And we're going to bend the knee and remove the strap and take that leg to the edge of your mat. And just notice the right from the left. All right, we're going to set up for the other side. So bend the left knee, take the strap around the heel, just kind of the top of the heel of your left foot. Extend the right leg nice and long. We're going to get that internal rotation. We're taking that right inner thigh toward the floor. And then we're locking the left shoulder down, or if you've got both ends of the strap, you're locking both shoulders down. Flexing the toes, both feet towards your shins. And again, here you can point and flex. It might feel really nice, especially if you did it on the other side. Sometimes it just feels nice in the ankle. Or you just want to flex your toes. But we want to feel this in the hamstrings. So if your knee is bending, you need to take your leg out further because you want to feel it in the hamstrings. That's what we're working on. That's going to help with the low back. We're taking that left thigh bone away from our chin. All right, now we're going to help with that. We're going to take the right hand over onto both ends of the strap or into our loop. Take the left thumb into our hip crease. And we're going to push that left thigh away. Help it along even more. And then draw the low belly in and up. Don't let that right foot splay out to the right. Pull those toes up. Draw the toes towards your shin. We're pushing that left thigh away. Going down in the strap and pushing into the strap. And then we're going to keep our left hand where it is. We're going to take the left heel over in line with our right shoulder. We're going to continue to use that left thumb to push that left thigh bone away as we take the low belly toward our chin. What's going on with your right foot? Do you want to spill out a little bit over to the right? Bring it back in. So those toes are pointing straight up. Maybe point and flex here. And then we'll take one more breath. And if you want to, just stay here, or you could take your leg over to the right a little bit more, maybe a lot more. That left hip can pop up as high as it needs to. Hi, Molly. Hi, Molly. Hi, Molly. Oh, okay. Good girl, baby. Go, go, go. All right. Take the leg over. And then we're going to use our low belly on the inhale here. And then as we exhale, bring the leg all the way up. And we'll remove the strap. Take the leg to the edge of your mat. All right, just notice how your legs feel. Let's take the strap back around the right foot. We're going to take the leg back up and extend the left leg. And even here we want the leg pointing straight up. Now we're going to take both ends of the strap, or both your hands in your right hand's in your loop. So either both ends of the strap come into your right hand, or just your right hand's in your loop. Left hand's going to come on your left hip bone. So I'm going to focus on keeping that left hip down, the left leg nice and straight, toes pointing up. And then as we inhale here, we're going to exhale and open the right leg out to the right. So the outer edge of your foot comes parallel to the floor. Just let it go where it can go. Don't worry about how close it gets to the floor. We don't want the right toes pointing toward the floor. We just want the outer edge parallel to the floor and pulling the left hip down to the floor. And the left toes are pointing straight up. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the navel in and up. Really engaging the leg. This one usually feels pretty good. And a nice stretch into your abductors, the inner thighs. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, use your core strength, bring your leg up. And then remove the strap, and we'll switch sides. So the strap's going to come around the left foot. Both ends of the strap in our left hand, or your loop is in your left hand. Right hand is on your right hip. Extend through your right leg. Point the toes straight up. Get the internal rotation of your right inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, carefully lower the left leg out to the left. Holding that right hip down. Flexing both feet. I didn't say this on the other side, but you can put a block or a blanket underneath your left hip for added support. Inhale. Exhale. Pull that right hip down. Keep your chest lifted. Inhale. Release. Stay here for just a couple more breaths. Pressing your heel into your strap and your strap into your heel. You can point and flex in this pose as well. So if you're doing this on the video or just doing this without me, anytime it feels good to point and flex, you're welcome, you can do that. All right, let's take an inhale. And as we exhale, bring the leg up. And then remove the strap. And take your feet back to the edge of your mat. You can put the strap over to the side for right now. Just kind of notice how that feels. Again, lots of work in the hips. We're doing the hip series. So just notice how that feels. So let's bend our knees. We're going to take the left foot and slide it over to the left. And then let the left knee drop in towards your right foot. And check in here, how does this feel? Now we're getting a little bit more internal rotation of our hip. If you're comfortable here, you're thinking take this a little bit farther, take your right foot onto your left thigh. That's going to really deepen the internal rotation. And then we're going to check our alignment. So we're going to need to look up and get our left knee in line with our left shoulder. And then you can lower it back down. So again, check here. This is take the foot off. You can put a block underneath your left knee too. If you're getting a little knee pain, we don't want knee pain here, so support your knee. You can put a blanket or a block there. But definitely don't put the foot there if you're getting knee pain. And then you can take your left arm overhead. We're going to take a hold of the left wrist with our right thumb and forefinger. And we're going to inhale and lengthen. And take the low belly up toward our chin. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Maybe even drag your right heel down your left thigh to get a little bit more length. So we're really stretching through the quadricep, up through our psoas, all the way up, even through the left shoulder. One more breath. And then release, uncross, bring your feet back on the floor so your knees are pointing up. And we'll do that on the other side. We'll slide the right foot over and then take the knee in toward the left foot. That's just where we start here. This is option one. You can just stay here. If you feel like you can take this a little deeper, take your left foot onto your right thigh. And then we adjust. We want to make sure we've got the alignment. So we'll look up and put our right knee, our right hip, and our right shoulder all in one line. And then we can take the right arm overhead. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left fingers. We're going to inhale, really lengthen. Visualize that stretch from your quadricep right up through the psoas, up through the shoulders, move through the arm. And maybe try to drag that left heel down your right thigh. Feel a little bit more length. And again, if this is uncomfortable in any way, take your left foot off your leg. Maybe put a block or a blanket in. And then let's uncross, place your feet back onto the floor, and just take a breath here. So now we'll do external rotation. So we're going to let the left knee drop over to the left. And we're just going to tuck that left foot behind our right heel. So we want to really focus on keeping the hips and the shoulders in line with each other. So that's where I try to position your left foot in the right place. Because we don't want the spine over here. And we're going to bring it back so the spine's nice and straight. So this option one, stay here with your right foot. Maybe take your right heel in front of your left shin and let your right knee drop out. So just Sukhasana, right? Cross-legged pose. And you can bring your arms overhead. Maybe hold on to your opposite elbows. If this feels easy, maybe take your right foot onto your left thigh and let your right knee drop out to the right. So this would be double pigeon, right? And just do what feels good for you. If it's too intense with your foot on your thigh, then take your heel in front of your shin. Arms can be lengthened overhead, or you can hold on to your opposite elbows. Inhale, draw the navel in and up, lift the chest. Inhale, lengthen. And then let's uncross. Feet come back on the floor. And just set up for the other side. Right knee's going to drop over to the right, and the right heel will be behind the right foot will be behind your left heel. And then we go through our options. How does this feel? You can stay right here. Maybe take the heel in front of your shin. Or maybe take your heel onto your right thigh and let the knee drop out. So just find what works for you. It's all really good for your hips. It's just a matter of what, some of us are way more open in our hips. I'm not very open in my hips. Honestly, for me, it's It's more comfortable to have my heel in front of my shin than on my thigh. And then you can do whatever you want with your hands. You can have them on your hips or reach them overhead. Hold on to your opposite elbows or even take them wide overhead. And again, notice how this feels. Especially how it feels compared to the internal rotation. Sometimes our hips really prefer one over the other. One more breath. In, your little belly in and up the chest. And then exhale. It up again. We're going to bring the knees up. And maybe hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Maybe make circles with your knees. You can even take a happy baby, whatever feels good right now. Rock side to side. You might even feel good, just take another full body stretch. Really just what feels good. Lots of work in the hips. All right. So let's just make our way over to one side. And then come onto your hands and knees. So we open up our hips in six in this hip series. And so we've done we've done extension, we've done internal, external rotation, abductors, adductors. Now we're going to do extension. We've done flexion. We've done flexion with Supta Pada Pustasana. So let's come onto our hands and knees, and then we're going to come into a lunge. So take your right foot forward, and then bring your hands onto your right thigh. Interlace your fingers, and then press your hands into your thighs. Get your spine nice and long. Take your low belly in and up. Inhale. Now we're going to take the tailbone toward the front heel. So we're going to really get this. Now we're trying to open up here in the hip flexor. A little bit more. We opened it up when we were doing the external rotation and the internal rotation. And now we're opening this up even more. And then we'll reach both arms up and overhead. If that feels okay, if it feels better to keep your hands here, just keep your hands here. Inhale. Exhale, draw your navel in and up towards your spine. Press the left toes into the mat. So really, we're pressing both feet down, really supported through the feet, lifting up through the low belly, shoulders down away from our ears, and we're still pressing and puffing up the spine. The chest. And then let's come down. We'll switch sides. Take the left foot forward or bring our hands onto our knee. Interlace your fingers. Place your hands on your thigh. Now lift and lengthen here. Really get that length, and we're going to take the tailbone toward our front heel. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up. Now press the back toes into the floor and press your left foot into the floor. We're lengthening and lifting. Open the chest, shoulders down away from your ears. Low belly in and up. Feel that big stretch through the psoas, through that hip flexor. And then we'll come down. And we'll bring our hands and knees back on the floor. And it might feel good to take a cat-cow here. And then we're going to come back to cow pose. So once you flow through cat and cow, just end up in cow pose, keeping your tailbone tilted toward the ceiling. Keep that action here. Turn your toes under. We're going to lift into downward facing dog. So keep your heels high right now. Bend your knees so you can take your chest towards your thighs. And now look at your knees to keep the neck long. Spread your fingers wide. Wiggle your chest. Get your spine nice and long. Take your tailbone even higher, and then maybe straighten your legs. If you can always keep a bend in them. Keep your heels high for right now. And then press through your right heel and bend your left knee. And then switch. Press through your left heel, bend your right knee, and just pedal a couple times. Maybe even drawing your hip back a little bit as you press through your heel. Now bring both feet so the heels are pressing toward the floor. Don't have to, don't worry about them touching. We're gonna look toward our hands. We'll walk our feet, our hands, and our hands toward our feet. We're just gonna hang here, forward bend. Keep the knees soft. Let the arms dangle. Hold on to your opposite elbows. Take a big inhale through your nose. And a big loud exhale out through your mouth. Do that again. Breath in. And just let it go. Let it go. Make it loud. No one can hear you other than whoever's in your house. Feeling the weight of the world just draining from us, right? One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let that go. Take your hands onto your hips. Keep your knees soft. Come all the way up. And just come to Tadasana. So I'm going to turn and face, oh dear. I'm going to come and make sure you're all there. Oh, Molly, I'm sorry. Okay, my laptop just died again. All right. But you're still there, so that's good. I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, so let's come to Tadasana. Keep your feet hip distance. Take your shoulders up and then down away from your ears. So we're broadening across the collarbones. Feel the crown of your head rise up. Take a breath in and out. All right, let's feel the, actually, you know what, let's take a block here while we're in Tadasana. We're going to take a block and we're going to place it in our inner thighs. So we've been doing a lot of that internal rotation of the legs. We're going to work on that a little bit more in our Tadasana. Let's come back to where we were. We're rooting down through the soles of our feet. And then we want to get that internal rotation. What's going on there? Get the internal rotation of the inner thighs. So we're trying to actually press into the block and shoot the block out behind us. To really feel that engagement of the legs. Then we're going to take the low belly up toward the spine, but we still want to be internally rotating the legs. And feel the crown of the head rise up toward the sky. And just breathe here. See if you can get your shoulders, your ears in line with your shoulders. The shoulders in line with your hips in line with your knees in line with your ankles. So this one long line from the crown of the head toward the soles of the feet. Really squeezing into that block, engaging the legs, drawing the quads up into the thighs up into the hips. And then let's take a big inhale, reach our arms up and overhead for Utthita Hastasana. Shoulders down, away from the ears. So we did this on our backs a little earlier, right? We were in full body stretch, pressing our feet away from us, reaching through the fingertips. You can even hook your thumbs here. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, just let that go. And just stay here for a breath. And then you can remove the block. All right. So let's take our feet wide. We're gonna need our blocks here. So we're gonna turn the left toes out to the left. Let's take a block and place it behind our left foot. Want the left heel to intersect with the right arch. And then the arms are gonna extend out. Lift your chest, draw your navel in and up, take a breath in, lengthen. And as you exhale, reach out over your toes. We're gonna take our left hand onto our block and take your right hand onto your hip for right now. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to take our left rib cage toward the right. So the right shoulder is stacking over the left. We can even use our right hand to help get that twist here. And then the left butt cheek draws back towards your right heel. It's really getting some length here. And then we push into our block to get the length. And maybe extend your right arm up. The gaze can be down at your left foot. Look straight across your room, or maybe up at your right thumb. We just want to make sure that the head and the neck are active. We don't want the head just hanging. It's going to create weight on the spine. So we want to make sure we've got the activity in the neck. Wherever you choose your gaze is fine. One more breath. Press into your block, lift here. And then we're going to come all the way up. We can move the block over to the other side. Now we're going to turn the right toes out, left toes up, in and up. Arms extend out. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, reach out over your front toes. We're going to take our hand onto the block. The right hand's on the block, left hand's on our hip. Stack the shoulder over the right. So we're taking the right ribs toward the left ribs. Really getting that twist through the torso. And the gaze can be down at your left foot, down at your right foot, straight ahead, or maybe up over your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Really rooting down through both feet. Planting your feet firmly into your mat. Maybe you can extend your left arm up. Just an option. Inhale, press through the block, reach through your fingertips. Take the low belly in and up towards your spine, open the chest. And then come all the way up. And then bring your feet parallel to each other, step your feet together. Take a breath here. All right, so now let's take our feet wide again. And you can have the block here if you want. We may not need it, but we can have it handy. So the left toes are pointing out to the left and intersecting the right heel, and the right toes are pointing in and up. Now we're going to go into warrior two legs. So we're going to bend the left knee deeply. But we keep the torso parallel to the long edge of our mat. And we want to get, right before we take the arms out, let's take our left hand onto our inner thigh. We want to get the external rotation of this hip. So we're trying to now try to get that left knee over your middle toe. Then we'll take the arms out for warrior two. And the gaze in warrior two is typically over the front fingertips. So it's a twist of the cervical spine. Shoulders float down and away. Bend into your front knee. Plant both feet into the earth, into your mat. Really engage this back leg. So this is an internal rotation here. We're trying to take the inner thigh in. Now we're going to reach out and take our elbow onto our knee. And we'll start here again with our right hand on our right hip. So just like in triangle, we want to get the ribs, the back ribs coming toward the front ribs. And we'll use the elbow to try to get that knee over the middle toe. So this is where, if you want to, you can always put your hand on a block behind your foot, or you can just stay here with your elbow on your knee. And there's 3 heights to the block, so maybe you can even make it a little lower. But we still want to keep the chest open. Then maybe here, you can take your arm up, and then we're going to reach it overhead. Turn your pinky finger toward the floor, and the thumb toward the sky. But don't lose that openness. We don't want to lose the chest opening. So we keep the chest opening, the top shoulder stacks over the bottom. And the gaze can be at the inside of your arm, or even just down at your foot. For extended side angle pose. Now press into that back heel and reach through your fingertips. And then we'll come all the way up. And we'll bring the feet parallel, and then we'll spin them the opposite direction. So now the right toes are pointing out to the right, left toes are pointing in and up, and we're going to come back into warrior two. So bending the right knee deeply. Take your right hand onto your leg, get that external rotation. So your knee starts to track over that middle toe. That's hard. I know, I see people a lot that the knee really wants to drop in here. So we want to work on that, and we got the hand here to help us. Then we'll take the arms out. Warrior two. You can gaze over your front fingertips, root down both. The outside edge of your left foot is rotating into your mat, and that thigh, your left thigh is drawing up towards your hip. So really engaging that back leg as down through the front foot. Then we'll go into extended side angle. We'll reach out. We'll take our left hand under our hip and the right elbow onto the knee to start. Stack your left shoulder over your right. So the back ribs twist toward the front. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the chest lifted. And then we'll take the left arm up. Reach it over. Turn your pinky finger toward the floor, thumb toward the sky. Press through your back heel. Reach the fingertips. And if you want to, you can take your hand on a block behind you. Really reaching. The gaze comes up toward the inside of your arm or just down at your foot. But don't lose that activity in the pressing down through the right foot and the left foot. And getting super long. And then coming all the way up. And we'll bring our feet together. And then step them together. And come back to Tadasana. Okay, just take a breath here. All right, so now we're going to take the feet apart again. This time we're going to keep them in line with each other. And let's find our strap. So you can always fold your strap in half here, unless you need it long. If your shoulders are on the tighter side, you might want to just leave it long. So we're going to take a hold of the strap behind us, like this. Palms facing out. We're going to lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Root down through the soles of your feet, draw your kneecaps up towards your thighs. So activate the legs, and then we're going to hinge from our hips and come toward the floor as the arms come toward the sky. Reach your arms as far as they'll go. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath like this. And then release your hands, release the strap down onto a block underneath your shoulders. Keep the chest lifted, broaden across the collarbones. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the kneecaps into your thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Now maybe you can take your hands on the mat if they're not already there, or you can just bring your block lower. And then you might be able to slide your hands in line with your feet. So your elbows are bent. The crown of your head's going to come a little closer toward the floor. Pressing the heels of your hands into the mat. And then take your hands onto your hips, come all the way up. Step your feet together, and then we'll find Tadasana again. All right, so we're gonna do a balance. So I have a chair here, and we've been using chairs a lot, so I suggest that you have one, because I'm probably gonna start using them a little bit more. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of these. Like if any of you tennis and racquet club people take Dan's class, we need this kind of a chair for his class because we climb in and out of it. But really, it just needs to be a chair. And so for today, it's going to help us with our balance, or you can use a wall. So right now, we're going to root down through the soles of our feet. We're going to come back to Tadasana, and this is where we might need the chair. We're going to go into tree pose. So let's root down through our right foot. All right, and then we're going to take the left foot into our inner thigh. So I've got my chair here just to help me as I kind of get into the pose, or you can have it on the other side to help you there as well. If you feel balanced, you can bring your hands to your heart center. So a lot of work in the standing. The low belly is still going to draw in and up. Our hands can stay at our heart. Find your balance. You can always put your foot on your calf, or maybe even make it into a kickstand. Really, whatever's going to work for you here. And then feel the crown of the head rise toward the sky, and the low belly draw in and up. The idea is to keep the foot off the knee. So as long as you have it somewhere on your leg where you're not placing it on your joint, then you're okay. Once you feel like you're balanced and you want to explore a little bit, you can take your arms up. Or however you want to express your tree. Some of you might want to take your hands into reverse prayer. It's whatever feels good for you right here. And then just check in. Find your balance. See how you're feeling. Slow everything down here. More breath. And then we're going to bring the knee forward and place that foot down. And just come back to Tadasana. And again, check in. How does that feel? One side over the other. Maybe just a little bit longer on one side. All right, so now we're going to root down through the left foot. We're going to take the right knee out. And again, you can do kickstand on your calf or maybe up into your inner thigh. So I've got my chair here to just help me get my balance. Once I feel steady, I'm going to bring my hands to my heart center. Or if it feels better, just stay here with your hand on your chair. And then check in here. How does this feel? You feel like you're balanced and you want to take it a little bit farther or explore, you can bring your arms up. Draw your navel in and up towards your spine. Shoulders down, away from your ears, chest stays lifted. So even here, our core is engaged. Breathe here. One more breath. Maybe find a spot to focus on, which I didn't say earlier, but that always helps keep you balanced as well. And then we'll bring our hands back down, bring the knee forward, and then place your foot down. And again, take a breath here and check in. How does that feel? Take a big inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky. Exhale, take a swan dive forward. Come into your forward bend. And then step back to downward facing dog. And you can pedal your feet or wiggle your hips. Or whatever feels good in down dog. And then make your way onto your hands and knees. From down dog, just come onto your hands and knees. And swing your legs around. We're going to sit with our knees bent, arms extend out. We're going to lower down nice and slow onto our backs. Once you're all the way down, hug your knees into your chest. Let's place our feet down onto the floor. Walk your heels in, and this is where you can use your strap again. Lift your hips up a little bit. We're going to take the strap right kind of below the buttocks and the top of the thighs. Now we're going to turn the palms up toward the sky. And hold on to our strap. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together here. Walk the heels in toward our buttocks. Root down through the soles of your feet and lift your hips into bridge. You can also, if you want to, just put a block underneath your hips, if that works for you. Or some of you, if you're super open in your shoulders, you can interlace your fingers. So we're going to pick up the right shoulder, crawl it underneath the chest, pick up the left shoulder, crawl it underneath the chest. If you've got a hold of your strap, try to bring the knuckles toward the floor so your hands aren't just kind of floating. Walk your heels in a little bit more and lift the hips. Draw your quads towards your hips. Draw your low belly towards your chin. Inhale, hold it here, down through the soles of your feet. Puff up the chest. Breathe. And let's take one more breath, quads towards your hips, belly button towards your chin. And then we're going to lower one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the tailbone down last. You can move the strap aside. Take your arms out to the sides. Take your feet to the edges of your mat and let your knees drop over to the right. And bring them up and drop them over to the left. Just go from side to side at your own pace. Bring your knees back up. Bring your feet in line with each other. So the heels are in line with your hips. We're going to take the right ankle over the left knee. Pick that leg up. We're going to slide our hands through our legs and clasp behind our left thigh. Draw the left knee in towards your chin. Use your right elbow to press the right leg away. Breathe here. Keep the chest lifted. You can always keep that left foot down on the floor and just gently press the right leg away as well. But you're going to go a little bit deeper into the piriformis if your foot's off the floor. You can always go against a wall too and place your left foot into the wall if that helps. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into the piriformis, take your legs over to the left slightly. Draw the knee in, right arm presses it, right leg away. This is another big muscle that contributes to sciatica or piriformis syndrome. It's usually one or the other, but this muscle passes over the sciatic nerve, so it can cause some nerve impingement. Bring the knees up, and we'll switch sides. So right foot down, take your left ankle on your right knee. You can keep the right foot there, or pick the leg up. Slide your left hand through, clasp behind your right thigh. Draw your right knee towards your chin. Use your left elbow to press that left leg away. And then this big stretch in that big muscle. And then maybe even take your legs over slightly to the right, finding that sweet spot where you're going to get that deep stretch in your piriformis. And then bring your knees up. Let's place both feet down onto the floor. We'll take our arms out to the sides. Scoot your hips over to the right. We're going to go into a twist. So you can either cross your right leg over your left or just take both knees over to the left. Whatever you want to do for just a gentle twist as we start to pull down. Breathe here. And then go ahead and start to bring the knees up, uncross. And then we're going to scoot the hips over to the left, maybe cross the left over the right, or just take both knees over to the right. Try to keep the left shoulder down. The chest lifted. If it feels like your left shoulder's popping up, pick your right shoulder up a little bit. to get that left shoulder down. This should feel good. It's just a nice twist as we start to close out the practice. Just slow everything down. And let's bring the knees up, uncross, square off your hips. We're going to prepare for Shavasana, so it might be nice to have a blanket underneath your head. Lots of options here. If you do have a chair or a couch or anything nearby, this is a really nice way to go into Shavasana. Just take your legs onto your chair or your couch. You can have your head on a blanket. Keep your chest lifted. It feels really nice. It's just a nice way to relax the hips. So you want to be really soft here. If you don't have a chair handy, you can always roll up a blanket, place a blanket underneath your knees. And that's a nice way to relieve any tension or tightness in the low back. Or you can even bend your knees and knock your knees together. Take your arms out so your palms are kind of facing up and your thumbs are pointing out. So again, even here, we're going to keep the chest open, even though we're totally relaxed here. So once you find Shavasana, once you find the position you are going to stay in for these next few minutes, and just scan your body. And just notice if there's anything you're still holding on to, any place. And if so, send your breath there. See if you can just let it go. And relax your jaw, soften your temples. Let your entire body release and let go into the earth beneath you. I'll ring the chimes when it's time to come back. So just let go, release, enjoy. can begin to awaken your body. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Reach your arms up overhead. Get a big stretch. Maybe yawn. When you're ready, make your way over to one side. And then at your own pace, come up to a comfortable seated position. Just sit here for a few more breaths with your eyes closed. Just take this time now to notice how you feel. We've been checking in throughout the class. Just see how you feel now, especially after that deep relaxation. How do you feel since you got on your mat a little earlier this morning? Hopefully feeling a little more open. Maybe just even a more peaceful, just a little lighter. Take your hands to your heart center. Thank yourself for getting on your mat this morning, this hot day, and taking time out for your yoga practice. Taking time out to do all these great things, not just for your body, but your mind and your spirit. And we'll thank all of our friends for sharing their morning with us from near and far, for sharing their energy and their light. And I thank you so much for letting me guide you in your practice and for being here this morning. And thanks for just joining on the Zoom call. I look forward to seeing your faces every week. We'll be here again next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. You can unmute yourselves if you want. Say hello. I know some of you know each other. You know, I was just thinking, I don't know if everybody's still on here, but Jennifer, Lala, and Andrea are from my downtown yoga days. That was when I first started teaching yoga. That was, so they've been with me for a long time.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
Right, and Andrea, it's like when that was when 2007 or 8, I started teaching yoga at the downtown Y. And actually at Hazard at the same time. So I think, Becky, you were at Hazard, right?
I was at Hazard.
Yeah. Who else was at Hazard?
I was.
So, yes. Oh, yes, right. Jean was too. Yeah, so a lot of you guys have been with me for a long time. And then I was at the club. I started, I think, in 2008, so not far behind. So, so good to see everybody. And
thank you. Good to see you. That was great.
So much.
Thank you, Karen.
All right.
Are you doing your new course now, Karen?
Yeah, it's at my own pace. So I'm only 35% of the way through it because it's one of those things that I have. After I put Isaiah to bed, I go on. Some of it's like the asanas were really a lot of refresher. I mean, I teach them all the time. Yeah, I always learn something new, so I like that. You know, there's something like the loop thing, you know, she's doing, which I really like. And there's some other. I always learn something new. But it's the pathology and really the learning more of the body that's that, you know, it's always so enlightening and so fun to learn. So yes, I'm doing it now, but I'm going at my own.
Well, thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the weekend. Hi, Peggy.
Hi. Hi.
Peggy, did
Hi,
you,
everyone.
Peggy.
did you see that fire yesterday?
What's that? What's that, David?
Do you know what that fire was all about?
Oh yeah, you know what it was? It was the Causeway building over on Marina.
Oh, yeah.
Causeway.
You know, kind of where, like if you're going to the club, you would go right instead of going, well, I guess depending on where you're coming from, but it's right on Marina heading down towards Sardinas. So if you guys are familiar with that area.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where that is.
Our house,
Sure.
Yes, it
the
is.
smoke all came into the house. We could see it from our deck, but
Okay.
I don't know how bad it was. I don't know if anybody was hurt. It seemed like they got it pretty quickly though, because it was all of a sudden this black smoke out there and then that was gone. So it seems like they got it.
They did a good job for sure.
Good.
Next to that,
Okay.
anyway,
Thank
that's
you.
it. Bye everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was great.
Recording. Okay, bye. I'm gonna stop that anyway.